Alright, welcome back to the channel. This is my new to me 12,000 pound Deckover utility trailer. As you can probably already tell, it needs some work. So let me do a quick walk around and then let's get this thing fixed up. So this is a 2007 Downeaster 12,000 pound 18-foot Deckover trailer. It has two 6,000 pound axles. These run the 14.5-inch tires, the mobile home tires they're often referred to as. This tire goes flat. It needs brakes all the way around. The lights need some attention, but they do work for the most part. The ramps need some attention and they are a little bit bent. And I also want to add a little bit of this receiver tube there so I can put a winch at some point in the future. Jacked up, supported safely. It's not gonna fall over. So here's what we got for parts. Got a new breakaway battery and switch, the reflective tape, 2-inch lights, rectangular lights, a 6-lug 14.5-inch rim. This is actually a Deckstar made in USA. A 7-round plug with the cord and the junction box. And 4 new brakes. These are the eBay special, pretty much the cheapest ones. And I'm gonna slide these tires under the trailer for safety. In case the trailer were to fall, at least it's not going to fall completely on me. Alright, let's get these drums off. Alright, I'll show you how to do this one and we'll cruise through the next 4. The cotter pin's off and that retainer, and then this nut comes off. I usually get a glove out. I mean, you should be wearing gloves all the time, but especially with this grease. And these trailers are nice. They got the grease fittings on the end, so you can grease the bearings. And the grease actually gets into the inside of the bearings. Careful, that bearing and washer are gonna fall off. And the drum comes right off. You can see how, this is why I'm replacing these brakes. See, this doesn't even move. These are all rusted up. The adjusters are rusted. And there's also those 2 wires back there. Alright, I kind of went crazy there for a little. Got a ton of rust off. You can see we got a couple of pinholes, but I'm not worried about those. This diamond plate's gonna have to be replaced eventually anyway. Just gonna shoot some primer on it real quick and then go in and eat lunch. So my helper finished wire brushing the wheels, and we took that one off. That tire's junk. He'll probably put some primer on them, and we're just gonna paint them gray. We paint all the trailer rims gray. I want to get all these seals popped out, take the bearings out, and then we're gonna wire brush the inside of these drums. The actual metal here is perfect. It just has surface rust on it, so I want to get that surface rust off so that it doesn't ruin the new brake shoes immediately. And then I'll also clean out all this grease. We'll clean off the bearings and pack the bearings with new grease. Well, I went a little bit crazy with the Rust-Oleum semi-gloss and did the whole frame rail, as well as the springs and the hardware. So, nothing wrong with a little rattle can rebuild. So in the front of the trailer, let's just get this stuff stripped off here. Score, bunch of crevice pins. Nice. Want to get this expanded mesh welded down. So in the front of this trailer here, I also want to put this receiver hitch. It's going to go kind of like that, but also like that. So this section has to get cut out. There's my welds holding down the expanded metal. I have to move these jack stands though to finish, because the jack stands kind of push up. But here's the receiver. And the hitch pin fits in there easy. And I have these gussets that I'm going to put there. These probably aren't even going to do that much. But not too bad for someone that doesn't really know what they're doing. Alright, the camera's about to run out of battery, and all of my other batteries are dead. But I'm just going to weld these on here. And then try and hit the bottom of these. I have to cut the corners of these, though, to get them to fit in. Okay, so it's a little bit later. Obviously, it's dark. But I got that welded in there. Got the gussets on. I think it turned out pretty stinking good. Looks pretty professional. I also put the VIN there so it never gets lost, and the date of manufacture. Now I'm just going to wipe this stuff off and throw some primer on it. Alright, the next morning, here's a better look at the paint. Don't look too close at the paint though. And we got the drums. My dad threw some paint on these, got them cleaned up. Wire brushed off the surface rust on the inside. Alright, let's get these drums. Make sure it's the right size, which it is. Also make sure it's the right size on the inside diameter on the spindle. I'm going to clean a little bit more of the grease off these. Lithium grease. And I'll pack some new grease in these bearings. Once you go all the way around, you can see it coming through the other side. Plop it. I like to put a little bit of grease on the inside of the seal. You can use a socket or a seal driver. And there you go. Now we do it 4 more times. Alright, here's how this grease fitting here works. And there it is. So I just want to put a little bit of grease through these just to blow out whatever's at the end, if there's any dirt or anything in the ends of them. Oh, look at that. This side, the grease fitting's busted off. Here's our choices. Need to make the shoes closer together. Get the seal over the lip there. Tighten that. That seems pretty fine. It's about perfect like that. And a little bit of resistance spinning it. So we got all the drums on. Now we just have to wire them up. Okay, now we have to wire up these brakes. So you've got the wires going to the other side through the axle, the wires from the trailer harness, and the wire to the electromagnet in that brake drum. First, we slip the wires through the heat shrink. Alright, now we do the other side. Now let's test these brakes. So we got a black wire and a white wire. And you can hear them clicking on. See a little bit of a spark. Yeah, those lock up. They should spin a little bit, right? Because that magnet has to stick to the drum, and then the actual spinning of the drum is what moves that arm and puts the shoes on. I straightened out this bracket for the jack handle. It should go on there now. Here's my plan for the electrical up here. Obviously the breakaway is going to go there. Then the cord is going to go through a hole. There's a hole here. It's going to go there. Then the junction box is going to go here. And the breakaway box is going to go here. That way all the electrical is right here. It shouldn't really get damaged by chains and binders. Now the only problem with this is these like mounting posts stick out too far, but it has these ones, so you don't even need those. So I'm just gonna cut these off. There you go, improved design. Alright, I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. Can't really do the electrical in the dark. I did get the ramps off and get them straightened out earlier today.
Forward now.
They're not perfect, but definitely much better than how they looked before. Alright, let's get these new lights installed. Especially if you buy the cheap lights. If you buy the more expensive lights, the grommets are usually better quality. Alright, that's how the light should sit. Nice and flush. And I got it bent back, so that's perfect. Alright, there we go. That one's done. Alright, now on this side, the wiring looks pretty good. We got this plug and that one, except for those two splices, but I'll plug these in and get it working, and then we can redo this. Alright, all three of the clearance lights are plugged in. Got these two on this side plugged in, and then this wire is for the license plate light, which I think would go right there, but I don't have one of those. So now I'm just gonna go through these wires, since they're not, I don't think they're color coded right. I'm just gonna trace them down. I'm just gonna put power to them and figure out what they all do. Alright, I got the grounds hooked up to there, positive going to the breakaway box. That's just an auxiliary. The left turn, right turn, running lights, and then brakes. And then I have all the grounds go to here, so there's no ground through the chassis, but I also might still do that chassis ground. And then these two wires go into the harness, but I don't know what they do. Gang, this is I'm gonna swap this out with LED. Works, and turn signal. I'm gonna swap these three out with LED also. Works. And the last one works. There we go. That should be pretty waterproof. And if not, it's easy enough to take this off. Oh, last thing, put grease on these screws, because stuff gets in these and makes it hard to take these screws off. doesn't move anymore. And I flipped it over because there's some wear here. So now where it rides, there's no wear. These are 1/2-inch studs, so I'm going to torque them to 100 foot-pounds. There's a grease fitting on the pivot for the suspension. Actually, technically we need a license plate light. I'll add that at some point. Don't have one now. And with the trailer registered and in good condition for the road, this is all done. I might replace some of these boards on here. This one's getting a little rotten, but it's perfectly usable the way it is. So you'll definitely see this trailer appear in some upcoming videos, especially with the new to me F350 I just bought. So you'll see that in the upcoming video as well. So thanks for watching and stay tuned.